Muy buenos días, séptimo grado. Hoy es el 31 de marzo 2020. Es el último día de marzo. Last day of March is already here. Can you believe it? ¿Qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día es hoy? Piénsalo. ¿Qué día es hoy? Hoy es martes. Vámonos. Retos para la semana. So we have goals for the week. We're going to continue looking at these ER verbs that we started to study. You guys know the infinitives. You did some conjugations yesterday, which, by the way, all of you did quite well on that, with a few exceptions. Then later on, tomorrow I'll probably give you a set of IR infinitives that I want you guys to study, and I'll share that with you on our Quizlet classroom. And of course, the overarching goal for the week is to be comfortable with all present tense conjugations of regular AR, ER, and IR verbs. So again, here we are. Okay, this is what we're talking about when I'm talking about being comfortable with the conjugations of regular AR, ER, and IR verbs. As you can see, we have AR, ER, and IR, and we have all of the endings down here. The endings are in bold. So I noticed that some of you yesterday, when we were working solely with ER verbs, used some of the AR endings instead of the ER endings. So make sure that you refer back to the infinitive. And if it's an ER, you know to use these endings. If it's an AR, you know to use these endings. And of course, if it's an IR, you know to use these endings. Is that clear? All right, so let's continue with our ER verbs. Oh my goodness. Vamos a practicar. Okay, so these sentences should look familiar to you. We're not there yet, but let's just review before the endings of ER verbs. So if you'll see here, I've got all the endings in red and underlined for this common ER verb, comer. To make it very clear that the formula, see you guys, this stuff is formulaic. When you have an ER verb that you're conjugating in the present tense, depending on the subject pronoun, you always take off the ER and add either an O, S, E, hemos, eis, en. All right, those are the endings. So take off the ER, add the endings depending on the subject pronoun. All right? Okay, so I'm going to have you guys get a sheet of paper and something to write with. It doesn't have to be a pencil. It can be a pen. It can be whatever. Just make sure that you're going to be able to read what you write down on this paper, because this is going to be what you use for the Vocaroo activity today, in which I get to hear your beautiful sounding Spanish. So each sentence that we go over, which is the work that you did yesterday, the fill in the blank, you're going to write the entire sentence. Sounds like a lot of work, but hey, this is Spanish class. We got to do some work after all. And so you'll have, by the end of this lesson, you'll have all of these sentences written down, and then you'll be able to recite them to me. And yes, I say recite because that's how you ought to view this thing, guys. You ought to practice this. You ought to rehearse your pronunciation, and then when you decide to submit the Vocaroo recording to me, that is your recitation. That is your recital. Muy bien. Vámonos. Okay, so the first verb that I gave you guys yesterday was aprender. Aprender, ¿qué significa? To learn, right? Okay, so this, when it's abbreviated, don't ever say UDS. I had some like 5th or 6th graders saying UDS. It's ustedes, okay? So ustedes aprenden mucho en la clase de español. Ustedes aprenden mucho en la clase de español. You all learn lots in Spanish class. Okay, preguntas. So go ahead and write this sentence down. Pause the movie if you have to. This is going to be the first sentence that you recite to me in your Vocaroo assignment. Beber. Beber es un verbo que significa to drink. Beber. A veces ellos beben mucha agua en la clase. Okay, so this kid is drinking water in the class. The teacher's like, oh, he's drinking water. Okay, a veces. So a veces is a word that means sometimes. A veces. Sometimes they drink a lot of water in class. Important to stay hydrated, guys. Stay hydrated. Comer. Comer is a verb that means to eat. Nosotros comemos muchos vegetales. Nosotros comemos muchos vegetales. Somos muy saludables. All right, here's a very happy and healthy family. They're healthy because they eat a lot of vegetables. That's what this word means. Saludable means healthy. So somos muy saludables. We are very healthy. Why? Porque comemos, we eat muchos vegetales. Comprender, to understand, to comprehend. Yo no comprendo la lección de matemáticas. So here's a picture of a boy not understanding the math. And what do you do when you don't understand? Well, you faceplant into the blackboard. Yo no comprendo la lección de matemáticas. Correr, ¿qué significa correr? Señor Snoddy. Okay, I put el in parentheses because we have an actual name here. But when we're conjugating a verb, when we're dropping the ER and changing the verb correr to something else, we have to pretend that we're talking about the third person singular. El. Señor Snoddy corre cada día. Not true, but I do want to start running more often. Cada día means every, so every or each day. There's a young Señor Snoddy there. Not really me, but whatever. Let's go. Coser. Coser is a verb that means to sew. So there you go. Ellas cosen en la casa. So they sew, she sews en la casa. Ellas cosen en la casa. Creer, creer. Creer es un verbo que significa to believe. Por ejemplo, vosotros creéis. Okay, this is a weird word. It looks weird when you put those two E's together, but it's correct. Creéis, creéis, because you drop the ER and then add the vosotros ending, which is E with an accent, IS. Vosotros creéis en Papá Noel. ¿Quién es Papá Noel? Pues Papá Noel is this person. You guys, do y'all believe in Santa? Okay, deber. Tenemos aquí una fiesta. Aquí es la pregunta. ¿Nosotros debemos ir a la fiesta o no? Should we, right? Deber is that weird verb that means to should or to ought to. And so you can translate this. Ought we to go, remember ir, to go to the fiesta or not? All right. Well, it looks like they're having fun there. It looks like good, clean fun. So maybe you should go to that fiesta. Of course, now we can't because we have to stay by ourselves and not spread germs, which is smart. So please don't go to any fiestas. Gracias. Esconder. Esconder es un verbo que significa to hide. Por ejemplo, ella esconde debajo de la cama. Ella esconde debajo de la cama. So she is underneath, debajo de la cama. She hides under the bed. Leer. Leer, to read. Got two very intelligent people down here. We read a lot. Ustedes leen muchos libros. Ustedes leen muchos libros. If I could give you guys some advice, if you want to be polished and if you want to be very well educated, start the habit of reading. Read as much as you can. Read everything, starting now. Poseer. Poseer. Very interesting word. It means to possess, to have, to obtain. Tú posees. Do you possess muchas cosas? Do you possess many things? Well, if you are a hoarder, you might. So this person obviously posee muchas cosas. Tú posees muchas cosas. Do you have a lot of things? Prometer. Prometer. This is a very good verb. It means to promise. Mis estudiantes prometen hacer la tarea. Okay, so my students promise to do la tarea, the homework. Responder. El maestro no responde a mi pregunta. So the teacher does not answer my question. El maestro no responde, right? Or the teacher does not respond to my question. So here's the teacher. I guess this guy asked a question. And he's like, I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to look at you. Romper. La chica rompe la piñata. La chica rompe la piñata. ¿Qué significa romper? Romper means to break, to destroy, to tear. Entonces, la chica rompe la piñata. Ella rompe la piñata. Vender. Vender es un verbo que significa to sell. So we have mis abuelos, my grandparents, venden frutas en el mercado. Mercado is a cognate, so you can probably guess that it means the market. My grandparents sell fruits in the market. Okay. Esta fruta, estas son uvas. Grapes are uvas. All right, so I hope you guys got all of those written down. I'm looking very much forward to hearing you speak these sentences, to recite these sentences out loud to me. I also hope that you have a better understanding of what these sentences mean. All right, make sure you rehearse a few times. I'm going to grade you on your pronunciation. Okay, so I'll take a few points off for every mistake, but I'm pretty confident that you guys are going to do quite a good job on this. And again, I'm looking forward to hearing it. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you a list of IR infinitives to study. So I'm going to quiz you also on the IR infinitives, just so, and you guys should be pretty quick about memorizing those. I'll make you some flashcards. It shouldn't take too long to get those in your head. And then we're going to practice using those as we did with the AR and as we just got through doing with the ER verbs. And I think we're making a lot of progress. Si se puede. Ok, muchachos, muchachas, señores y señoras. Muchas gracias y nos vemos el miércoles. See you Wednesday.